doing amazing things. I must say, Mo and Eley, you guys are doing amazing things.
That
right?
really, yeah, that was the cry that I had yesterday, where I was like, okay, I need to, one, just take a second to release all this pressure that I feel, and then two, like, wipe your tears and say, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be busy. I'm grateful to be doing the things that I enjoy. I'm grateful to be in this next level that I've worked so hard to be in. Like, I'm actually grateful, even though it's a lot. I'm okay. Like, it's gonna be okay. I am okay. We're gonna make this work. We're gonna make this happen, and then and then go from there. Like, I think that extremely can change your attitude about, like, being in the woe is me or overwhelmed, and just, like, recognizing where you were and where you are and where you're headed, right? And taking a second to really appreciate that.
And on that note, like, Darcie, like, I have been sending you so much praise, because it was a couple of weeks ago that I went out with Darcie, and I was, like, crying with my ugliest face in the end of a tiki bar and telling her, like, all of my truths about where I was in the world. All the things that were going wrong with me, and she, like, just took a moment to look me in the eyes and express that, instead of looking at stuff as a peak or a valley, like, look at the concept that you are in a space of growth, which might be that valley, and it feels like, you're a little bit down because it's painful, but on the other side there's, like, celebration, and there's that, peak. So, like, with the celebration, you also have to have that growth, and I have been clinging to that and accepting that, and that has been, like, helping me guide each day since our conversation. So I absolutely agree with you guys on that.
Oh, I'm glad. I mean, I think, one of the other things that I've become aware of too is, like, if we can look at adversity or the tough things that come at us as an opportunity for growth, it won't get the best of us, right? Like, if we can see it coming and go, oh my God, and, like, be one of those people who are like, okay, I'm going down. I'm down. Like, whether you head towards depression or you defeat or whatever it is, if you can shift your mindset and look at it like, okay, here's a challenge. What caused this? What can I learn from this? How do I grow from this? And you can get over it a lot faster because you're looking at it from a place of, I'm going to make something happen with this. I'm not going to let this get the best of me. That makes sense.
Yes, for sure. So what are some of the ways, like you said, that are maybe, how do we dial into this gratitude when you're in a space of feeling overwhelmed or a space of feeling, when you're tipping to that side of depression or tipping to that side of, like, the boiling point, right? Or your peak. What are some of the things that you would suggest or that you think would be helpful for people to really dial into that action or attitude of gratitude?
Yeah, I mean, we're wired naturally to look for the negative because that's how we survived, right? That's how we were able to, put our antennas up and, hear the sounds of a lion coming at us, back in the day. So we're wired actually naturally to look for the negative. And what that does in our day and age, when we're not constantly having to protect ourselves, is it creates very, very strong narrow pathways towards negativity. So we have to really work hard to actually become, the opposite, to think positive naturally and more often than negative. So there's studies have been done, and the beauty of our brain is that we can create new narrow pathways. And the way you do that is you sort of train your brain. And I actually read this in a book about 5 years ago, and I thought it was brilliant. Actually, it might be longer now. It's called The Happiness Advantage by Sean Anker. And he's the guy that created the class at Harvard, Yale, I don't know. But it's a happiness class, and it's always the class that's like, a waiting list is for. It's amazing. And basically, from that book, I learned that if you religiously practice gratitude daily, you're ingraining new healthy neural pathways every day. And what that does is it gets you feeling more positive just naturally. So, I mean, I'm guilty of, doing my my gratitude practice religiously for a year, and then I like take a break. And sure enough, 3 or 4 months later, I'm like, what's my problem? Like, why am I in a funk all the time? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not doing my gratitude practice. Like, you know, and I shift how I do it. I've done it differently over the years. A lot of times I'll write my gratitudes down in a journal, and then at other times, you know, like right now, I kind of just go through them mentally in my mind as I head out on my walk every morning. But the key is, when you're doing your gratitude practice, is even if you are writing them down, it's just not like you're not trying to fill in the blank and get it done. What you really have to do to make it count is you actually have to feel the feelings. So like if you are grateful for your neighbor who really looked out for you and did something really, really gracious and made you feel so much better that day, you really need to go back in that memory and feel that feeling when you're thinking about that. It's not like, oh, I'm grateful for my neighbor, I'm grateful for my kid, I'm grateful for my job. That's not going to work. You have to feel the feelings. So I have a little trick that I have started doing that really works well for me, and I know people must think I'm crazy in my neighborhood if they see me, but I'll be like walking down the street and I put my hand on my heart, and what that does is it allows me to tap into sort of the sensitivity of that place in my body where I feel love and I feel joy and I feel excitement and acceptance and kind of all the good feelings, right? And so that, when I am thinking about the things that I'm grateful for over the last 24 hours, really helps me tap into the feeling. So I would definitely recommend it. But one thing I wanted to point out about this gratitude thing is that study after study has shown that gratitude has the highest correlation with human well-being than any other character strength. Mm-hmm. So if you're struggling, this is a no-brainer. It's stronger than Prozac, and it's free.
Absolutely.
You know, and so, and like one last little point is that one study shows that if you practice for 30 days, doing a gratitude practice for 30 days, it will make you 25% happier.
Well, can you explain maybe like what a gratitude practice is? Maybe give a little bit more in depth of like what that looks like, or how do you practice that daily, or if there's like a particular routine to tap into gratitude so that it becomes a part of your lifestyle and a part of your wellness.
Yeah. So I've started, I don't know if you guys have heard of Mind Valley. Mind Valley is something I kind of tapped into during COVID because we had a couple months when we were down and we weren't shooting at all, and I was just looking to feed my brain. And so I took a course in Mind Valley, and one of the things I learned from that was sort of doing this gratitude practice that covers 3 different areas of your life. I think if you're after you're doing gratitudes every day for a while, you kind of start to kind of get dumped on like, what else can I be grateful for that wasn't what I was grateful for yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. So they kind of put it into 3 categories. So the first category being personal, and that could be, like something personal that happened to you. A friend of yours, something they did that made you feel really good, something, could be something material, something that you bought, like a new pair of shoes that you like freaking love. It could be a really nice note that somebody left for you, or, anything that's personal in your last 24 hours that, happened to you, or maybe you did something for someone else and it made you feel really good, something of that nature. So the second one is career. So Jody, I know you're on here. I know you're not able to talk, but it cracks me up. You come up in my gratitudes almost every day. Like, I'm so grateful for Jody Watson.
Yes.
Because she is always doing all the things I'm terrible at. She is meticulous and organized and keeps up with all the details and the back and forth between everyone. And that stuff makes me cray-cray. And I am so grateful for her. And she does such a phenomenal job at it. So she gets a lot of my gratitude in that category. I'm also always thankful for so many of the amazing people that are in our industry, right? Like, we have so many incredible people in our industry. Having been in the industry and out of it for a little bit, like in 2008, and the economy was bad, I started an interior design business at that point, and I got a little taste of sort of what other industries are like. And I will tell you what, the photo industry in Atlanta is filled with amazing people. I mean, just really good people. And when I got to kind of go from that world of the interior design back into our world, I was like, oh, thank God my people are around me again. I'm so glad to be around, because everybody's cool. Everybody's like really nice and down to earth, and anyway, I'm really, really grateful for people in our industry. So that's the second category, is the career. And the third category is a little bit trickier, and that's yourself, finding gratitude within yourself. Like, hey, I'm really grateful that I have a love for growth and that I am always reading a new book or taking a new class. I am really grateful that I have such a love for my family that I go out of my way to make sure that they're doing okay. I am really grateful that I'm on a health kick and I dropped 5 pounds and I'm, eating healthier, and so you kind of just go through those things. And, the gratitude practice can take 2 minutes or it can take 10 minutes. It really depends on maybe how much time and how much patience you have at the moment. But the most important thing is that you put the effort forth and that you feel the feelings. And I promise you, I would challenge everybody to leave here today and start a gratitude practice tomorrow. And just make yourself do it every day for 30 days. And then send me an email and tell me how you feel. Because I guarantee you, your step will get peppier and you will be like, oh my God, Darcie's right. It really works. And you'll be happier and you'll be grateful. And then at some point in the game, you'll drop it and you'll be like, why do I feel so, why am I, it's the same thing. Anyway,
yeah.
It's a game changer.
I think that's awesome.
I recommend it.
Yeah, it's a mindset. You changing your mindset and how you look at things and how you view things rather than thinking about the negative. There's so many things to be grateful for, whether here, yesterday, or tomorrow. Like, there's so many things that you can really sit with yourself and just really be appreciative.